This is Sermon 29 in Manton's Works, Volume 12. For we know that the whole creation groaneth and travaileth in pain together until now. Romans 8:22. The apostle had showed how the creature waiteth for its future perfect estate, not what sense it hath of its present condition. In the words, we have the certainty, we know. The agony of the creature, it groaneth and travaileth in pain. Their consort and agreement in this groaning, the whole creation groaneth, etc. The duration and continuance until now. The certainty of what is asserted. We know. But how do we know? First, we see by our sense that the whole creation is under vanity and corruption. Secondly, we know by faith that it came by sin, so that partly from sense and partly by faith, we conclude that the creature is under a burden. The great agony of the creature, it groaneth and travaileth in pain. Groaneth as a man under a heavy burden, travaileth in pain as a woman in childbearing. The creature would fain be burdened of its estate. Some think that this last metaphor implieth that the issue will be comfortable, for the pain of travail ends in joy. John 16:21. A woman, when she is in travail, hath sorrow, for her hour is come. But as soon as she is delivered of the child, she remembereth no more the anguish, for joy that a man-child is born into the world. It may be so here, only I find this metaphor used for bitter pangs and sorrows, without any respect to the end and issue, as Matthew 24:8. All these things are the beginning of sorrows. The consort and harmonious agreement that is between all the parts of the world, the whole creation, collectively, or every part distributively, they all groan together and travail in pain together. The duration and continuance until now, that is, from the time that sin entered into the world unto this present time. Doctrine, that the whole creation groaneth under the burden of our sins. First, what is this groaning of the creature, or in what sense the creature is said to groan? Secondly, how we are concerned in these groans. Thirdly, how we know it, for who ever heard the groaning of the whole creation? First, what is this groaning of the creature, or how can that be ascribed to things without reason, sense, and life? There are two causes of groaning in sensitive creatures, labor and pain. That which answereth to labor is unwearied motion. That which answereth to pain is corruption and decay. Labor and motion, so we may say the creature is worn out with hard labor to serve the uses of man, because it is in continual motion. The sun moveth from east to west in the day, and in the night from west to east again. Ecclesiastes 1:5. The sun also ariseth, and the sun goeth down, and hasteth to his place where he arose. The Hebrew panteth, as pressing forward to be at his appointed place, to give man light to go about his labor. How many thousands of miles hath it traveled to come to us again since we went to bed? So Job 37:11, by watering he wearieth the thick cloud, and scattereth the bright clouds. It is turned about by his counsels. He speaketh of the clouds as things that could be wearied, being hurried hither and thither, to serve the earth in divers places, and spendeth itself in that service. The earth is digged and rent and torn with the plough, seldom suffered to enjoy its Sabbaths, that it may bring forth fruit to man. The rivers flow, and the sea hath its ebbs and tides. All things in the lower world are full of labor. And so the creature is wearied and worn out to serve even rebel man, to whom God continueth this favor. That which answereth to pain is their passing away by corruption. The four elements, being contrary one to another, are still wasting one another, till all fail. Heat against cold, and moisture against dryness, all things being compounded of these four elements, do in the end return to them again by dissolution and corruption. And besides, by God's judgment, the creature is often blasted in its greatest glory and beauty. Look, as in a fruitful season the valleys are said to laugh with fatness. Psalm 65:12 and 13. And the flourishing of the spring is as it were nature's smile. It is a pleasant sight to behold when the earth is blessed of God with increase and variety of fruits. The creatures do, as it were, rejoice in God's bounty, and invite us to rejoice with them. So on the other side, when these things are taken away, it doth, as it were, mourn and look sorrowful like unto the judgment. As they laugh in their kind, so they mourn and groan in their kind. As Jeremiah 12:4, how long shall the land mourn, and the herbs of the field wither for the wickedness of them that dwell therein? Isaiah 24:4, the earth mourneth and fadeth away, the world languisheth and fadeth away. Isaiah 33:9, the earth mourneth and languisheth, Lebanon is ashamed. Jeremiah 23:10, because of swearing the land mourneth. Joel 1:10, the field is wasted, the land mourneth, for the corn is wasted, the new wine is dried up, the oil languisheth. In all these places and many more, the earth is said to mourn when it lieth waste, stripped and despoiled of its wonted verdure and bravery and grass, corn, plants, fruits, wherewith it was once clad and adorned. Now this may come to pass partly by external drought, as when the grass was burnt up, that there was no fodder for the beast, 1 Kings 18:5, partly by storm and tempest, which maketh spoil and havoc of it, Proverbs 28:3. A sweeping rain leaveth no food. Partly by vermin, Joel 1:4. That which the palmer worm hath left, the locust hath eaten. That which the locust hath left, the cankerworm hath eaten. That which the cankerworm hath left, the caterpillar hath eaten. Sometimes by the irruption and invasion of an enemy. Isaiah 1:7. Your country is desolate. Your cities are burnt with fire, your land, a stranger is devoured in your presence, and it is desolate as overthrown by strangers. Sometimes by murrains and pestilential diseases, which hinder all cultivation and tillage. Amos 4:10, I have sent among you the pestilence after the manner of Egypt. Your young men have I slain with the sword, and have taken away your horses. I have made the stink of your camp to come up into your nostrils. God hath variety of ways to punish man in blasting the creature, and on all the occasions the land appeareth as in a mourning weed, and the barren parched ground and withered fruits of the earth are, as it were, the groaning of the creature under man's sin. These things premised, we may see in what sense the creature is said to groan. In a way of supposition, if they had any life, sense, or reason, they would groan or be thus affected, being wearied with labor, liable to destruction, and perverted from their natural use, often blasted by God's judgment. If God should open the mouth of the creature, as he did that of Balaam's ass, it would rebuke our madness, groan under their hard servitude. 2 Peter 2:16, Balaam was rebuked for his iniquity. The dumb ass, speaking with man's voice, rebuked the madness of the prophet. So if the creature could speak with man's voice, and had man's affections, they would loudly groan in the ears of the Lord of hosts, and blame us for our disobedience and unthankfulness to God. By analogy, there is some proportion and suitableness between our affections and the inclinations of the creature. There is something in them which is, as it were, sense and reason, that is, a shadow and resemblance of it. The grass groweth, as it were, grew by art, and knew how to grow, and the corn sprouteth forth as regularly as if it were under direction. Every creature acteth by a rule from which it swerveth not. A stone in descending falleth by a straight line, as if it had reason to pick it out. All the art of man cannot draw a straighter line than that by which a stone falleth down, when it is thrown up into the air. Every creature hath an obediential instinct to glorify God, as if it obeyed by reason. The creature did, as it were, mourn at the crucifying of Christ, for nature seemed to be routed into a disorder. The rocks were rent, the earth quaked, the sun was struck blind with astonishment. There is an elective assistance, which runneth along with the creature. That is, the wise and powerful providence of God leadeth them, and governeth them, and directeth them to a better estate, so that they do in their kind groan under their present burden, till they be delivered from it.